Suicide bombers killed 20 people in separate attacks on a military base and a uranium mining site in Niger on Thursday, and government officials said the twin strikes were likely the work of a militant group from Mali that may have re-established itself in Libya. The attacks underline the risk that multiple Islamist insurgencies in the Sahara could spill into previously peaceful Niger. Just before dawn on Thursday, a vehicle drove into a barracks in the remote, centuries-old trading town of Agadez and exploded. The attack killed 19 soldiers and injured more than a dozen, said government spokesman Marou Amadou. French nuclear engineering company Areva SA AREVA.FR -3.80% said its uranium mine in Arlit, about 100 miles north of Agadez, was also attacked by a car bomb early Thursday, leaving one of its employees dead and wounding 14 others. The U.S. military has been considering Agadez as a possible base to fly the surveillance drones it deployed to Niger earlier this year as part of a broader international effort to search for and fight al-Qaeda and other Islamist guerrilla fighters in North and West Africa. Areva, which has been a target of several Islamist attacks and a kidnapping over the past 3 years, said Niger authorities would reinforce security around its production sites. Areva has been mining uranium in the former French colony for the past 40 years. Uranium is Niger's main natural resource, accounting for roughly a third of the country's exports, according to the International Monetary Fund. Government officials in Niger said they suspect the bombers came from the Movement for Unity and Jihad in West Africa, often referred to by its French acronym, MUJO. A MUJO representative claimed responsibility for the bombings in statements to French media. That small group of Malian fundamentalists spent 2012 imposing strict Islamic law on Mali's north. When French soldiers moved into northern Mali in January, the rebels fled, but have since returned to stage periodic attacks on Malian towns. In Niger, 2 government officials said they have information suggesting the militants who conducted the attacks came from Libya, where MUJO allegedly succeeded in recreating strongholds. Analysts said they were worried that parts of Libya were becoming a haven for violent Islamic groups that had been forced out of Mali by the French-led intervention. "I'm looking at southern Libya, and seeing the same type of thing I saw in Mali," said J. Peter Pham, director of the Africa Center at the Atlantic Council, a Washington-based think tank. "This thing is simmering below the surface and nobody is paying any attention." Government officials in Libya couldn't immediately be reached to comment. Niger has enjoyed a period of peace and economic growth in recent years, even as 3 of its neighbors Nigeria, Mali and Libya have erupted in conflict since 2011. Earlier this month, the government of a 4th neighbor, Chad, said it had quashed a coup attempt. Last week, southern neighbor Nigeria said it was closing much of its border with Niger and sending thousands of troops into the border areas in pursuit of an Islamic insurgency called Boko Haram. "Niger is in the middle of all these problems," said Mr. Amadou. Niger has also posted troops along its other borders to help stop the flow of militants and arms coming in and out of Mali and Libya. But securing national borders across the vast Sahara remains difficult, analysts say. Niger is a strategic site for Areva, which has 2,700 employees and 5,000 subcontractors in the country. Niger accounted for about 1/3 of the group's uranium output last year. 1 Areva employee and 3 employees of French construction company Vinci SA, DG.FR -2.00% who were kidnapped in Niger in late 2010, are still being held hostage by al-Qaeda-affiliated militants in the Sahara region.